Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Uh, I've just make sure that everybody's in. I'll just start this one. I don't know how many of you are sort of new to this. I'll be going through a couple of things here, but there's something that I've seen this morning which I find very interesting. It's just going through. Let's just have a look at this. The game I'm interested in at the moment, which is just an oddity to me. We'll go through the process of what you look for after we'd had a look at this. But the game in particular is this Leganes versus Valladolid. And if we have a look at the history, I want to show you here the draw. I'll go through this column. £68,000 has been traded on this match so far, of which 45,000 has been traded on the draw. Now, that is incredible. That has taken 66% of the trading money, whereas the implied odds of 3.05 is 32.79. So this has taken that 33% more of the book. There was a lot of money coming into it early in the morning. Where we see blue, blue, and green, this is like a perfect storm, really. And this indicates that this price may come in. But I'm just wondering here, it's very rare that the draw gets, this attracts this money. It's attracted 66% of the money. Normally it's the favourite. Looking at the table here, I can't really work it out, but Leganes, they're still fighting for their lives, basically. And Valladolid just above. Now, I just don't see. I just wonder if they're going to play out a draw here. I don't know, but that is definitely interesting. They've only taken 18,000 there, Leganes. Valladolid 3,000 of the 6,800. So that is just something that I find very peculiar there. So it could well be worth back in the draw. There's something not right there. That is very peculiar. But anyway, that's just a digression, really. I'll get on with this. Right, what we do in the morning, we sort this out by volume. And really, to be quite honest, all you're looking for is anything over 50,000 is worth looking. Anything under, I don't really bother. And what we do here, we've got Bayern Munich versus Mönchengladbach. Bayern Munich are 1.55 on Betfair, and they're 1.43 on Pinnacle. The first place I go to when looking at these in the morning is the pinnacle price. If the pinnacle price is lower than the Betfair price, then that is of interest. And as you can see down in these lower games here, where there's not much money in the market, Celta Vigo versus Villarreal, Betfair price is 2.84 and the pinnacle price is 2.82, and that's highlighted in orange. So that suggests that there's a significant difference, and that could be worth backing. What I like to do, I like to see these, and this is the first place I look. Unfortunately, in this morning's, or the big matches today, none of this is here. But let's go through each game. We'll go through the first 6 or 7 games on here, and I'll go through it so you can understand what is happening here. So if we look at the history, and if we look here, Bayern Munich are the favourites at 1.45 to back, 1.46 to lay. And as we can see here, there's 185,000 being placed on this match, of which 155,000 has been backed or laid Bayern Munich. So they've taken 83.97% of the book. Their implied price, 1.45, is 68.97. And so there's a difference of 15% there. Here we see pink, which suggests that the price is going to drift. And here, as we see from 3 o'clock this morning, 1.43, the price has drifted. Now, what we need to sort of look at here as well is that this is as it stands at 10:30. It's just gone 10:30. This will update itself in a few minutes. What you look at here is as it stands at the moment. Now, if you come back here at, say, 11:30, and the Bayern Munich price has gone in, then you'll see that these back here will start to turn blue because the trend has changed and the long-term trend is a back. So I have to warn you now, this is what you look at here on this screen is as it stands now. If you see pink, that suggests a lay. If you see blue, that suggests a back. But obviously you wouldn't be backing at these odds 7.8 trying to trade these. You need to be trading around, 1.4 to 2.5 or something like that in that area. And obviously if you do go in, you set a stop loss. But here we can see Bayern Munich, they have drifted out. They've now gone on to 1.45. I'm not sure here. It looks as though it's weakening a little bit. It was stronger here, but it's weakening. And I would suggest, I'm not so sure that Bayern Munich can go up much higher there, really, although the trend is definitely for them to lay there. Mallorca versus Barcelona, I don't think we'll see really much here. Barcelona 1.28. As we can see, they've been blue here, so 1.3, 1.29. Yeah, but Barcelona could go down a couple of ticks here. It's showing pretty solid blue here. Again, here 133,000, of which they've taken 114,000. They've taken 85% of the book. The implied odds 1.2977, so it's 8.27. And this is what we do like to see. If we see two blues and a green, then we know that is a definite trend of a back. If we see pink and a red, we know it's a trend for a lay. But here again, although the Barcelona price is coming down, I just wonder how many ticks, that will go down. I don't think the risk versus reward there is really worth taking. Dusseldorf versus Dortmund. If you look at Dortmund here, there's elements of blue here when they are 1.38 and it's gone to 1.37. But as you can see, there's elements of pink here. I wouldn't get involved. Although the blue here is suggesting that they could go down the chart here. Pretty indifferent, really. That they probably will start around here again. I don't believe that's the one to really get involved in. Espanyol versus Alaves. This could be interesting here. As we can see here, Espanyol, pink here, quite a lot of pink. So just to reiterate again, 77,000 has been placed on this match, of which 39,000 has been traded on Espanyol, which that means they've taken 50% of the book. The implied price 44.64, so it's positive, but this pink is suggesting that the price could drift. And indeed, if you look at the graph, yeah, it has been drifting. This has been fairly pink all the way through. I would say if Espanyol are trading at 2.24, and if you're looking about 11 o'clock and this has gone pink, I would say that could be worth a lay. And if you were laying Espanyol at 2.24, then I would put your stop loss at 2.20. So basically, if it goes up to 2.26, put your stop loss up to 2.22 and so forth. Put a trading stop loss. But as you can see here, Alaves, they've got solid blue. 4.1 stayed pretty the same, and again the draw here has got solid blue. But here, yeah, I would say that Espanyol could be a potential lay there. Paderborn against Bremen. Bremen here 2.26, 2.28. Again, the graph's not doing too much. Interestingly, they have taken the majority of the money here. 86,000 here traded, of which 53,000 has gone on to Bremen. Again, they've gone up, but I think 2.30 here. I think that could be the highest price it will go. I think it could go in from there. So if you can get in at 2.28, let's have a look at the market. Yeah, 2.28. If you can get on Bremen at 2.28, that may be a potential movement there. Let's have a look. Where's the... Yes, as you see, it's starting to turn blue here, and there's a good positive green here. They've taken 19% of the book is more than the implied odds, and it's starting to turn blue now. And I think that price could go in from about 2.28. Again, you would set your stop loss around 2.32. I think 2.3 is probably the limit where it'll go with 2.32, 2.34. And obviously, if the price moves in, then you start moving your stop loss in. But that looks as though that could start coming in. I'll make a note of that one. Bremen 2.28. Wolfsburg v Freiburg. This is an interesting one as well by the looks of it. We're seeing pink here, fairly solid pink for Wolfsburg, 1.7%. As we can see on the chart, it is drifting. That would be definitely, that is a definite potential lay there. It's solid pink. It's now starting to go into the red, which we like to see. So again here, 80,000 has been backed on this, of which 45,000 is backed on Wolfsburg. Price is 1.78, which the implied odds is 56.18. They've taken roughly that in the book, but as you can see, it's pink here. The chart is drifting up. So I would say that Wolfsburg were a good lay at 1.77. What you do, you put your stop loss around about the 1.74 mark. So if it hit 1.74, you'd get out for a loss. You'd red up and go for loss. But that price could definitely go out, because as you can see from the chart, it's starting to go up, and this is showing all the signs that this price could drift. Cologne v Berlin. Interesting one, 218 on Betfair, 211 on Pinnacle. Let's have a look at this one. It's just been a change there as well. I'll go back to that in a second. Cologne, it's a difficult one, this one, really. This has been drifting up here, and it looks as though it may be sort of hitting a top at 2.20. But as we can see, although it's been pink and it has drifted out here, it could start going blue here, but it's too indecisive me for that one, so I would probably leave that one. But it may be worth looking at in an hour's time. As we can see, Espanyol 2.16. It's gone in from Betfair 2.26. See, it's drifting here on Betfair, but now Pinnacle. And this is what you've got to be. This is why this is a game of patience. This really is. As you can see here, then Espanyol 2.16, 2.26. It's gone out now. 2.23. The Pinnacle price has moved out, but it's still lower than the price here. Again, I still think there's a potential for that to go out, but you've got to always watch these things, and you've got to be you've got to keep your stop losses relatively tight. You're going to take some losses if you look at this, but when you do get it right, it's going to your winnings are going to far exceed your losses. Let's have a look at this one. Wolfsburg, Freiburg, Cologne, Hertha Berlin versus Frankfurt. Yes, you see Hertha Berlin. This is quite. Most of the money's gone on them. As we can see again, the graph is coming up here. Hertha Berlin are drifting. I'd like to see a little bit more pink here, but again, 70,000. They've taken 52,900. Price is 2.16. The implied 146.3, but they've taken 75% of the market. And it isn't positive. The graph is still moving out. So again, that is a possible lay there. Berlin at 2.16. The only problem is obviously we don't know if if that went over 2.20 from 2.16, that may be worth getting involved in. And what you've got to look at here as well is that it's 2.16 on Betfair, but it's only 2.15 on Pinnacle. So that suggests that, again, that is too close to the price, and that will possibly drift. We've already dealt with this Leganes Valladolid game, which I find peculiar. I just can't understand. That looks to me as though they're back in the draw here. They're definitely back in the draw. I might have a wager on the draw in that game. But I think, in summary here, I think the one that I would be definitely interested in getting involved with is this one here on Wolfsburg drifting. Because the chart is drifting out. You've got to be a little bit cautious if it gets to about 1.80, see if it rebounds off that. The only slight negative here is that since we've been on there, it's changed slightly to blue, although there is solid pink here. So that would be definitely worth interest. But obviously if it starts to go blue here and you see the Pinnacle price going down from where it is, then you get out. As I say, this is the problem with this is cat and mouse, and it's it's a game of patience. What was the other one? Bremen, wasn't it? Bremen. Bremen. Yes, you see, that could be worth backing. I think Bremen could be worth backing. I'm not sure they're going to go higher than 2.30. It's now starting to show some solid blue, and they would be worth backing at 2.26, 2.228. I think 2.30 could. It's suggesting that could be the highest price it's going to hit there, and they could be a fairly safe trade. If you were to get in at 2.28, you'd set your stop loss about 2.32. So I think Wolfsburg are lay, Bremen are back, and I would, like I say, the draw there. If anybody has any questions, I can see if I can unmute. Ask you to unmute. If anybody's got any questions, if they want to fire them out now, or alternatively, what you can do, you can email me, or indeed you can have a one-to-one session with me during the week, and we can go through this in a little bit more slowly. I've made a video of this, and the video will drop in the rooms. But has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask now? And like I say, if not, I'll you can question, you know, just send me an email or send me a message on Telegram, and we can hook up and have a one-to-one session if you'd like to go through this a little bit slower. But those are the two that I would suggest at the moment. Bremen are back, Wolfsburg are lay. Ensure that you've got your stop losses and keep to those stop losses. If the price moves in or out for you, then move your stop loss accordingly. We tend to advise newish traders to get out before the team news, so you'd get out before, 1:30. Right, has anybody got any?
I got a question, Pete.
Yeah.
Pinnacle's just an advisory price. We're never actually going into the market on Pinnacle. We're just playing on Betfair, right?
Yes, that is just an advisory, because they lead the market. Here, they lead the market effectively. That is the only reason. And so that is why this is so important. See, Espanyol, you see, they look like a lay to me, but the price is moving around here, 2.21. That's what stops me really from laying it, because that price is suggesting it's a lot lower than the Pinnacle price, and it could go down. And if we have a look here, like I say, it's been drifting. Espanyol drifted, but now it's gone 2.21, 2.26 on Betfair, 2.21. So it suggests it could be coming in. So I wouldn't lay Espanyol now, purely and simply because here on the Pinnacle price, it's gone in. What I tend to do as well, the English markets are the best for this. There's no two ways about it. You can put a fair bit of your bank into the market, but never put more than 50% of your bank into the market, just in case the Betfair site goes down and you have to go to another site to lay your trade off. But for these, what you can do in the morning, say like if you see here, Hertha Berlin, look at this. Look at this. Hertha Berlin 2.14 on Pinnacle, 2.28. Now I can't remember what we had there, but that is a. Let's just have a look at Pinnacle.
What are you going to do?
Hertha Berlin 2.17. It could have. Let me refresh that.
Cannot. Why? I thought a good man. I can't believe you say that.
2.17, but it's obviously moved into 2.14 at some stage. 2.19. You see, it's gone out slightly. You see, Berlin again. They look to lay. Well, in fact, they've gone up to 2.2 by the looks of it. It's still. I still would suggest that is a lay though. Berlin look a lay to me. 2.18, I would say, despite that slightly puts me off though, because the Pinnacle price that's leading it 2.19, but this is where it's a little bit a game of cat and mouse sort of thing. But that is the only negative on that Berlin being a lay to me. You see, it's gone down 2.14. It's moving all the time. The difference is quite staggering, in fact. But I would not back Berlin. Because normally, under normal circumstances, if that was low, that's lower than that, and the indicators were a blue here, well, I would definitely back Berlin. But that's the only thing that's putting me off laying Berlin there. But as you can see from the chart, they're definitely on the drift. So those are the sort of things you look for. But in other words, that is the first thing I'd look for.
She's a druid.
The price, the Pinnacle price against the Betfair price, and then you go into look. But as I say, when you go into these markets, if you look at the Bremen one,
Can't let her die.
this is what it is at the current moment in time. And obviously, when you go in at 11 o'clock and have a look at the prices, you may see a different picture at that time. But I think again, this has hit its limit here, and that could go in.
should be
Does
counted.
anybody else have any questions or anything? If you'd like I say, if you want a one-to-one session, we can go through this during the week, and we can go through it more slowly, and I can ask you any sort of questions. I know Stephen's in the room. Have you got anything to add, Stephen? Yeah. No, well, what? Hi.
Seeing them not doing anything, but there's a lot of work going on underneath.
Hi, Stephen. Have you got anything to add?
I see you watch headlocks.
Only thing is that just double check the Pinnacle prices on Pinnacle, because if there's a big price movement, the app is slightly behind Pinnacle, so you want to go to Pinnacle and check what the current price is on Pinnacle itself. So it might look like there's a massive price difference now between Betfair and Pinnacle, but it might have moved on Pinnacle and not updated yet in the app. So always check Pinnacle to make sure.
Yeah, you see, this Wolfsburg one's interesting, I think, because on Pinnacle it's 1.78 effectively. Oh, where are we? And you see, it's coming up to 1.78 here. I still think that is could be a lay. If that goes above 1.80, that's where I think the breaking point is. It's still showing all signs. Solid pink here. This has changed to a little bit of blue, but it started to go into negative. If this starts turning pink, then I think that's a lay.
I also like that when you see the diff is gradually going in and then changing, or it's gradually started negative and going positive.
Yes, so this is the opposite way around, isn't it? This has gone positive, it's starting to go negative, which again suggests, yeah, it's like here it's gone negative, it's gone positive, and there's positive, which suggests that's coming in, the draw. But the draw will never move that much. Right, so what I'll do, I'll end this session. Like I say, it's going to, I've recorded it. I'm going to put it in the room now. But like I say, any questions or anything that you need clarifying, please get back to us and we can arrange a one-to-one for you. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll hopefully see some of you this afternoon.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. That I can't believe the amount of money that's gone on that draw. That is unreal. Leganis versus Valladolid. 45,000 of 68,000 has been backed on the draw.
Bearing in mind, if all these teams are in a financial crisis, they've got to get together and get some money somehow.
You love it, don't you?
You're not going to believe this, but this is